It's an old truism that if you fear something, you can't really see it clearly. You can't see it for what it actually is, because you are placing a certain value judgment upon it, i.e. it's a danger to me. It's something that wishes me ill. It's an idea or a being or whatever that I cannot afford to be neutral about. This thing is a threat to me. So fear makes you lose your neutrality, your rationality. Irrational fears, that's a popular idiom. So I wonder why so many people use that as sort of the secret ingredient in their philosophy. The obvious example is the Christian Muslim insistence on an eternal hell. To me, the whole idea that such a thing could exist kind of debunks their own idea that God is merciful. What could you possibly do, asks the normal, curious person, that would merit an eternity in hell? Take the most evil person you could possibly imagine, say Adolf Hitler, or I don't know, Jeffrey Dahmer, Charles Manson. Take your pick, anyone, any one of them. Say Adolf Hitler was responsible, directly or indirectly, for the destruction of 100 million human beings, either through them overtly being killed, their lives being ruined, any value that they would have gotten out of life being robbed of them by the Second World War, by Nazism, by the Holocaust, whatever. Toss Hitler into the fire of despair, pain, suffering, lack of hope, for 100 million lifetimes. Has he paid? In other words, is it possible that a crime could be so monstrous as to warrant an eternity in the worst place you can imagine? The worst place there possibly could be? I say that no, that's illogical, and it flies flat in the face of any idea that God is merciful. You can't have hell, an eternal hell, and a merciful God that's going to put people there, or allow them to put themselves there even. A bad parent is one that lets its children make terrible mistakes that are self-destructive. If God's the Father, why does he let me blithely march my way into hell? The usual response to that is free will. But please, if it means saving me from this, take my free will. I don't want it if that's what's going to happen. Again, I simply don't believe in hell. I don't believe that such a thing exists, and I'm willing to stake my soul on it. Yes, I am. And in a strange way, I'm sort of giving God the benefit of the doubt even more than a Christian or a Muslim would, because I'm betting that even if he does exist, I'm not sure if he does or not, but even if he does exist, he'll understand that I'm honestly arrived at the point that I'm at, and he won't damn me for all eternity for being an unbeliever, because in all honesty, I can't do it. But the Christian apologists will still use hell. So many of the Christian apologists, or those making a case for Christianity or attempting to convert people to Christianity, harp on this business of hell, of, okay, we'll try to sell you on it using God's love, his compassion, his goodness, and how a wonderful thing it is to be saved. Note the saved from hell. Now, if that doesn't work, then we'll say, if you don't accept this, there will be real trouble. Carrot and stick. Although carrot and stick sounds pretty wimpy when you're given a picture of eternal paradise or eternal damnation. To me, that's misusing fear. That's blinding people. That's making sure that you use this weapon against their powers of reason to rob them of their reason. The better to prevent them from rationally arriving at a decision vis-a-vis their own view of the universe. I'm not a Muslim. I'm not that familiar with Islam, but I do know that the word Satan gets bandied around an awful lot. Satan, satanic, all this kind of thing. Same idea, really. Personifying evil, personifying something out there, some Emmanuel Goldstein / Leon Trotsky kind of character out there that is the ultimate scapegoat for everything evil that has ever happened, and we must fear him. We must not understand him. It's very important that we do not understand him. We must simply fear and perhaps hate him. To the point where there's a place in Mecca where you actually go and you throw rocks at this image of Satan. He's something outside of us. He's something we don't understand. He's simply something to be fought against. Again, you're just personifying fear. You're personifying the other thing that is a menace to you. Why is it so necessary for us to have these things? Why is it so necessary for us to take this Manichaean view of the world split between the good and the evil? I think that most of us understand that there is sort of good and evil in this world, but why do we have to put a face on it? Why do we have to use something out there that we must fear? Why is it so necessary to harness fear for the better good, in other words? I would say that that's actually an impossible thing to do, because when you make someone afraid, you rob them of their ability, or you weaken their ability to be moral, because now it's survival. Now it's not right or wrong, good or evil anymore. It's you're out to get me and I have to defend myself. I'm cornered here, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to do something immoral and nasty here. But it's only because you evil thing, you have made me afraid, and I have to fight back. I have to reach for whatever weapon I've got to defend myself. So when you use fear, if you ask me, as an adjunct to your philosophy, you're cheating. You're not telling the truth. In fact, you're trying to, or I shouldn't say anyone is trying to, but it looks to me as though someone is deliberately attempting to obscure the truth using a very potent weapon, which has proven itself to be very effective in obscuring the truth: fear. And again, it's not just the Christian Islamic tradition. Any tradition, any philosophical point of view that you can come up with generally has its scapegoat. There's plenty of people out there spouting off why one should fear the Islamic world. Their numbers are growing fast, demographics, they're immigrating everywhere, they're trying to change the laws, they're trying to generally impose themselves on Western society. Of course, the same thing is being said about the West in the Islamic world, and so each side has decided that the other is a convenient scapegoat, and blame the great Satan, or blame Osama bin Laden or his equivalent for everything. So, okay, you're always going to have people that will be preaching damnation and hellfire in one form or another. But I think that people that consider themselves rational, consider themselves logical and thoughtful people, ought to really have a look at that. Really have a look at the weapons or tools that they are using to make their point. I think that some of them are off limits to anyone who actually wants to involve themselves, his or herself, in an honest debate. Let's not cheat. Thank you.